Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I thank the honourable member for the question. Mr. Speaker, the Cabinet in 2015 had passed a resolution that started the modernization of Fiji's geodetic datum. Mr. Speaker, the geodetic datum is coordinate system and set out reference points as that relates to the planet or planet Earth. It's not really a everyday language for most of us, but I suppose the best example that we can use is that the datum allows applications like the global positioning system or GPS to operate. As such, the upgrade of the datum will determine the accuracy of that application and ensure, for example, our air and our sea navigation system and its precision. Mr. Speaker, the modernization of Fiji's geodetic datum will position Fiji to comply with international standards and its requirements, whereby changing, and that's the ongoing work at the moment, is changing the datum from 1972, the model 1972 WGS72 to WGS 84. So that is the present work that is being undertaken by the ministry at this time. Adopting the international standard, Mr. Speaker, will ensure Fiji's compatibility across various geographic information systems that are used nationally, regionally, and also at a global level. The current datum, Mr. Speaker, when compared to international levels, has poor accuracy and with a significant difference or variance between 5 to 20 meters depending on positions and locations. So, example, Mr. Speaker, this means that if we use the GPS in Fiji to locate a car, the information which the GPS will give will approximately be 5 to 20 meters off the actual position on the ground. Or if airplanes enter Fiji's airspace, pilots will have to switch on. They switch from autopilot to manual in order to steer the plane safely onto the ground. So, Mr. Speaker, there are 4 phases into this project. Phase number 1, which includes procurement and construction, that has been completed between 2016 and 2018. Constructions, Mr. Speaker, of 8 huts and pillars that presently, at the moment, shelter our global navigation satellite system, or GNSS, and they continue to operate from reference points that are located in Taviuni, Lambasa, Nambuwalu, Coral Island, Kandavu, Lakemba, Onilau, and at Rotuma. Those projects had been completed. Then procurements of 5 GNSS equipments. Additionally, 3 GNSS equipments was donated by the Republic of China, which was commissioned on the 9th of October 2018. Phase 2, Mr. Speaker, involves the completion of the survey field campaign and synchronization of field data conducted between 2019 to 2020. This, Mr. Speaker, has also been concluded, which involves a total of 62 reference points were observed continuously for 7 days, and a total of 87 secondary reference points which were observed on a 6-hourly basis. Phase 3, Mr. Speaker, has also been completed, and it involves data release report produced from survey field data, online transmission of all geodetic survey data and information to Geoscience Australia through Pacific Geospatial Surveying Council, and also taking advice from Geoscience Australia to assist in the provision not only of geodetic datum but the physical height datum and geoid model, transformation parameters, standards, technical and documentation, and educational materials at our ministry. Phase 4, Mr. Speaker, which is the final phase, is pending, and that requires a final and detailed process to complete the project. This phase involves activities like the formulation and completion of a Fiji geospatial reference system roadmap, undertaking the national adjustment to create the new Fiji Geodetic Datum, and development of transformation parameters from historical datum to new datum. Discussion and agreement on height datum and geoid model development to create a new Fiji height datum. This will enable the datum to also capture the average height of the entire ocean surface that is also measuring distance above our sea level. There are some challenges, Mr. Speaker, and I would propose that as a way forward in answering the question. There are technical issues that are experienced throughout these core systems in Fiji. Systemic faults on the internet connectivity for the core stations. The ministry has support from ITC to re-evaluate service providers for internet services in which Walesi and Digicel have been awarded services right for the outer islands core stations. Technical capacity, Mr. Speaker, is the lack of know-how in the field of geodesity. So at the moment, Mr. Speaker, assistance has been pursued with Geoscience Australia to provide training and those involved in the project. And lastly, Mr. Speaker, the infrastructure safety and maintenance is also a challenge, where periodic maintenance of the compound in which our core stations are built needs to be maintained. And in doing so, we have a couple of officers, Mr. Speaker, 4 officers altogether and 1 IT person that do periodic check on all of our core stations to make sure that they are compliant and also giving us the feed of information that we need. Mr. Speaker, the inclusion of the vertical datum will enable the ministry to measure rates of subsidence or land sinking, which is the result of development, coastal erosion, and groundwater withdrawals. For instance, if the government does not have accurate elevation information about these routes, hurricanes, and waterways, evacuees during the emergencies may be trapped in fast rising water situations. Mr. Speaker, since the inception of this project, the ministry has only been focusing on developing horizontal datum. The inclusion of height datum, as advised by Geoscience Australia, will also then allow Fiji to be well placed to take advantage of the widespread benefit of having satellite-based positioning systems in Fiji. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Honourable Minister.